Hi my friends, this is Deanna with Fern's Frills, and I am going to show you how to make a spider or a spider rose, spider ribbon rose. And the reason why they're called spiders, okay, is because you start out with a spider. Start out with a spoke of 5, okay, and all I used here was 2 strands of embroidery floss. You can use 2 strands of regular sewing thread. You can use a strand of yarn if you want, but you're going to be able to see that a little bit better. But the best thing is 2 or 3 strands of embroidery floss in the same color that you're going to be using of your thread, of your ribbon, I should say. Now, so the very first thing you do, and if you notice, these are not perfect. You know, this one's longer. Now it looks like that one's a lot shorter, but it actually isn't that much shorter. But they are not perfect. Okay? Now, I am doing this on black felt, which can be easily cut around so that and then you can glue it onto your project. But you can do this directly onto the paper, which is what I did with the Crochet Hinged mini album. I did it directly onto the paper. But this way is a little bit, it's the same thing. It's just a little easier to show you the first time. Okay, I'm trying to keep in frame here. Well, kind of, sort of. Okay. So what you do is you take your seam binding or your ribbon. Now you do have to have a fairly flexible ribbon. Okay, I was going to use a beautiful ribbon that I recently got, but I wasn't able to use that because it was a little bit too stiff. So you do have to have one that's a little bit. The real craft ones with the wire and stuff really do not do well for this project. You need seam binding, or the silk ribbon's great, which is essentially just seam binding. Anything that is nice and flexible, okay? Now, what I do, of course, you just get a large-eyed needle, of course. You pull it through here. And here's a trick for all the non-sewers, because I know everybody has a problem with, oh, well, this keeps coming out and I have to keep rethreading and all that if they don't know how to do it. Well, and little kids too. And that's the reason why these are so neat for little kids. All you do is slide your ribbon down on your deal till you've got a little tail here. You reach up and you poke your needle in, oh, about half an inch, quarter of an inch, half an inch probably, because that way you're not going to fray down to it, to there. And then you just pull this. You pull it through. Let's twist it around there. Hold on a minute. There we go. You're going to pull that down through. It forms a knot. That's not going anywhere. Okay? You didn't have to put a knot in the bottom. You didn't have to do anything. You just put the needle right through there and pull it down, okay, and it secures it on there. It's not going to come off. It's not going to do anything. No big deal. That's the reason why it's so good for little kids to do this project. Okay, so then you take your spider, and it's got to be 5 spokes because that's an odd number, and it works the only way that it works. You're going to go under 1 spoke, and this first one's the only one you have to worry about because you're holding your thread. Now you can come up through the bottom and hold it on the bottom, or you can do it right directly on top. I'm going to show you right directly on top because that's what you're going to need to do with the paper. It's just too hard really to make it come up through the bottom with the paper. Okay, so since we went underneath this piece, this spoke, we're going to skip over the next spoke and go under the next one. Okay, now you're going to make sure that this is held in so you don't take it out. And see this next one? We're going to skip it and go under the next one. So all the way around, the only thing that you do with this rose, and you pull it to where it's flat down in there. The next one you're gonna skip. You're gonna go under the next one. That's all there is to it. I hope I'm in frame. Okay, over the next one, under. Pull it in, skip over the next one, go under. Now see your little piece that you had there is all covered up. Now you're going to go over this one, under the next one. Now, if I were you, I would do this on it with white seam binding. I would do it on a white background, but you couldn't see what I was doing if I did that, so I didn't. You just keep going around and around and around and around. Over one, skip over, and you go under the next one, skip over, under the next one, skip over, under the next one. It's all there is to it. And if they get kind of big and are going over, don't worry about it. It's going to all come out in the wash. Okay, so just skip over and go under. And as you can see, that would be really pretty, even that size. That's why you can do smaller ones. The smaller ones, you just make them, you make your smoke smaller. This one's going to be about an inch, maybe a little bit over an inch. I like to do it just a little bit over an inch. That way I fill up all of my things. Now I wanted to show you. Now sometimes, I don't know if you can see that. See how that ribbon's just kind of sticking up there? If I laid that down flat, it would cover up all those beautiful little things there. So all I'm going to do is take it, it didn't get really very well twisted. So you just kind of twist it a little bit. Now it's done.
Sorry ladies, the camera, the battery died. So that's really all that you do. You just keep going around, and I hope you enjoy it.